And hello and welcome to your halftime break. Not sure what has been recorded in the first half. We might have lost it here on the last game, but yeah, anyway. We're leading 19-7. Kenny Erickson, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions through the first half of play. We're going to get a look at your Brooklyn Beats starters. Anyway, actually, we're going to take a look at the halftime stats anyway. 19-7 your score in favor of the Brooklyn Beats. Total yards of offense 214 to 204. Rushing yards 91 to 75 in favor of us. Passing yards they have more 139 to 113. First downs 11 to 8 in favor of us. Punt return yards 12 to their 1. Kick return yards 49 to 20. Total yards of offense 265. They're 235. Turnovers, we have 3, they have 2. Third downs, we are 4 for 9, they are 1 for 4. Fourth downs, we are 1 for 1, 100% with a touchdown. Red zone percentage, we are 3 for 3, going 2 touchdowns and 1 field goal in that time. Penalties, 2 for 20, 1 for 5 for them. Possession time, 13-12 to 6:48. That is not what I wanted to do. We're going to get into these game stats just for your leaders on offense. And defense. Kenny Erickson, 49.4 QB rating. He's 13 for 22. That is 59% completion percentage for those of you that didn't know how to do math or did look over here. 119 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. Rushing, Justin Vanderschaft leads the team. 9 carries, 33 yards through the 1 half of play. Sam Gable, 4 for 28. And then Travis Parker, 3 for 21 with a touchdown. And it's tough sailing for Daniel Henricks. Receiving, Luis Gonzalez leads the team with 4 catches, 18 yards. And then it's Travis Lee, 2 for 9. Josh Gable, 2 for 17. And the yardage leader is Luke Slazewski, 2 for 41. Nobody cares about blocking, so we're going to go to defense and look at total tackles. And it is Aaron Nelson with 5. And then Jacob Pickering, Dan Nolte, and Thaddeus Rosu with 3. Tackles for loss, we had 2 in the first half. Ryan Bealo, Dan Nolte. Sacks, we had a couple. Ha! Kevin Stark with 1.5. Sean Clausen with 1. Tevin Fair with 1. And Scott Rethwell getting half of that from the safety. Interceptions, we had 1. Scott Rethwell returned at 35 yards. Forced fumbles, 3 by Jacob Pickering, Tevin Fair, and Daniel Pickering, and only 1 of them was recovered by Tevin Fair. Safeties, we have 1 by Scott Rethwell. And kicking, of course, Brandon Baker is 1 for 1 from 47, 2 for 2 extra points. We're going to get you back out to the field where Kenny Erickson is struggling here as of late. 3 interceptions to 1 touchdown and a 59% completion percentage. See if you can get back on track. 19-7, Brooklyn leads here coming out of the half.
Well, my apologies, Larry. I wanted to hear the report. Somebody's in a hurry, so we're going to get them right to quarter number 3. This will be fielded at the 6. And he'll take this across the 25. Couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. Out comes this offensive unit as they get set to take over here. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. They'll set up a throw. Finding time. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Dante Hightower from his outside linebacker spot. He gets him down here for a loss of 4. Well, it was second long. Now it's third and even longer. They're going in the wrong direction here.
Because they're moving exactly the way they want to, but you're exactly right. Definitely going in the wrong direction for the offensive guys. But no second guessing the call here. It was third and long, so throwing the football was probably the smart play to try and pick it up. But they don't get it, and now the defense goes off the field feeling pretty good about themselves, gaining some momentum as they force them into a likely punting situation.
No returning this one. It sails out of bounds, and they'll spot it right at the 20. A look at the offense now here, coming back out on the road for their first possession of the second half. They were able to get the stop defensively. Now a chance to turn that into points on the offensive end.
Can you imagine what the grease board looks like at the half? Because
tell me.
That's exactly what they printed up. Stop them on defense.
Dion Lewis. And all the way in. Touchdown, New England. Dion Lewis, an 80-yard touchdown. And the Patriots have cut it back within a score.
He catches what's thrown to him, but he didn't on that play.
From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. He's going to hit his man out of the backfield. Complete. Dion Lewis. And all the way in. Touchdown, New England. Dion Lewis, his third touchdown of the game, his 8th on the year. And one goal going forward won't beat them.
Yeah, that's really good strategy because that's all you care about. Not getting beat at this stage. At least give your team a fighting chance.
And now the rookie's free. Past the 20. And all the way in for the touchdown. Their dangerous wide receiver, an even 90 yards. And his guys have once again taken the lead. It's been a back-and-forth game, a lot of points on the board, and that return right there kind of indicative of how this thing's gone.
Yeah, you've seen both teams go at it, and as you just pointed out, both of them have found the end zone. But just like in boxing, you know the blow that hurts the most? The one you didn't see coming, and that often is the case.
Back to throw now on first down. Slant route caught by Edelman. There he goes, Julian Edelman. And all the way in. Touchdown, New England. Julian Edelman, his third touchdown now on the year. Tone another to come in here on the road and set the tone. Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. Eluding the pressure right. And it's caught. Touchdown. Their big tight end. His first touchdown on the year. And his guys have made this a one-score game now.
He was able to move around and found some vision to throw the football. And how about how he ended it? Boy, he had some zip on that throw.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt to have an arm like that. Results in the touchdown here. Great play offensively.
But we put up big points all game long. The defense is going to win one every now and then.
Being chased out left. And he'll slide down to avoid the tackle. Going to give this time to the tailback. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. No gain on the play there.
No one gets it. Give him a lot of credit for being really precise with it.
Got rid of it. No one got it. He's going to loft one. Deep left side here. A battle for it, and it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. This defense figured out something in the locker room. That's 2 third-quarter picks now.
And you just wonder, did he get too comfortable in the locker room himself? His team has the lead. Take care of the football. He's putting them in jeopardy right now.
Shift together here from the D-line. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And he'll be hit from behind and taken down. They'll wind up losing 8 on the sack there, and it's 2nd down. Well, they go play fake. The problem is nobody was faked out.
And when no one's faked out, what's the end result? Quarterback gets hit. So now we're going to see that loading the box in a big way. 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take, puts a little bit more pressure on your big.
And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. A critical error there in a tight game in the 4th.
All you talk about is taking care of the football, and especially with a lead here in the 4th quarter. Turning it over, now the door is open for the opposition.
Just in general, when you're passing in the 4th quarter with a lead, no matter at what point, you got to be super careful.
Got to be careful, and sometimes you can be so...
Now back to throw. Looking left side, he's got it, complete. Slips past him.
Where'd he go?
And he takes this one down all the way near the 30. A big play that time on the catch and run. And it's going to yield a new set of downs. He had time, was able to survey the field and find a soft spot in that zone coverage. And he'll give it here to his running back. Oh, no, he lost the football. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. And he's got his man out of the backfield. That's complete. And touchdown. A big play there. His first touchdown on the year. And his guys have taken the lead here in the fourth. And that score gives us our 6th lead change of the game.
Are we back on the playground on the seesaw?
A little seesaw battle,
Right?
yeah.
Up and down, up and down. What a game we've watched here.
It's been fun.
Well, they might catch the defense off balance with that play call, but unfortunately, that didn't work for them.
And Prater's kick is on the money. It's good. And the drive will wind up yielding 3. Victory all but assured now as they take a knee here, and they're going to escape with a 1-point victory. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down. Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for Brooklyn, they remain one of the hottest teams out there as the win moves them to 6-1. And now they'll have a few extra days here before they face the Panthers next week. Meanwhile, for the Patriots, they fall a game under the 500 mark at 3-4 through 7 games. And they'll be at home next week for a date with the Houston Texans. So that'll do it for my partner, Charles Davis, and the best darn crew in the industry. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. Good night, everybody.
And with that so long, we welcome you back up here into the booth where the Brooklyn Beats sneak out a victory 40-39 over the New England Patriots post-Tom Brady era. Although Adrian Casey looked like Tom Brady in this one, throwing for over 400 yards with a 60% completion percentage, 3 touchdowns, and I do believe he had 3 picks. Likewise, Kenny Erickson. Actually, we're going to get into these stats quick. And then we'll get you back to the main screen where we will sim the rest of the season here. And then hopefully see what happens in the playoffs. 74.1 QB rating for Kenny Erickson. He went 22 for 40. That's 55% completion percentage for those of you that don't know how to do math or didn't look over here. 312 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Longest pass was 62 on the day. This really good defense humbled Justin Vanderschaff after 2 straight weeks of going over 100 yards. 21 carries, 64 yards for Vanderschaff. Just averaged 3 yards per carry, and we had to talk about it. I knocked on the wood desk, but it didn't help. He had 1 fumble. Sam Gable, 8 carries, 48 yards. Daniel Henricks finally got into positive yardage as the first half yielded only -3 yards. 5 carries, 16 yards for him. Travis Parker, 4 for 25 with the touchdown. He was very vital in getting that first down late. Oh, that Daniel Henricks, I mean. Travis Parker with the only touchdown by this running back core. And then Kenny Erickson, 3 for 28, had that big 20-yard run. Receiving, it was Luis Gonzalez. the tight end. After Josh Gable went down, he took over for him, so he was the starter. Excuse me. 6 catches, 69 yards, and 1 touchdown. Blake Letelier was next on the list, 3 for 25 and a touchdown. Josh Gable went 3 for 21 before going out with a dislocated elbow. Darian Wilson, 3 for 25. Luke Slazewski, 2 for 41. Lou Wang, 2 for 40. Travis Lee, 2 for 9. Jesse Peterson, in his game back from injury, 1 catch, 62 yards, and 1 touchdown, channeling his inner Randy Moss. And Anthony Bisbee went 0 for 0. He did have 1 drop. Jesse Peterson had 2 passes deflected from him and 2 drops. Nobody cares about defense, and we're going to go to... Nobody cares about blocking. We're going to go to defensive look at total tackles. It's Aaron Nelson with 9. Jacob Pickering with 7. Thaddeus Rosu with 6. Kevin Stark with 4. Dan Nolte, Scott Rethwell, Tevin Fair with 3. Thomas Cross, Josh Fitzer, Matthew Arnsdorf, Robert Nichols, Zachary Anderson, Xavier Rhodes, Sean Clausen, Daniel Pickering with 2. Justin Lewis, Matthew Peterson, Justin Vanderschaff, Otis McMillan, Josiah Russell, Luke Slazewski, Drew Ward, Richard Southey, Ryan Belo, Jesse Peterson, and Terrell Oliver with 1. Tackles for loss, we had a bunch. 2 for Jacob Pickering and Aaron Nelson. And Josiah Russell, Thomas Cross, Dan Nolte, Daniel Pickering, Thaddeus Rosu, Josh Fitzer, Kevin Stark, and Ryan Belo each had 1 sacks. They added a couple here in the second half. Kevin Stark had 1.5. Otis McMillan had 1. Sean Clausen had 1. Tevin Fair had 1. And Scott Rethwell had a half sack. Interceptions, we added 2 more here in the second half. Thaddeus Rosu had both on 2 deep throws that would have just really hurt us and put us in a position to lose this game. Both interceptions, he went for 0 yards, being tackled as soon as he made the catch. Scott Rethwell had a safety, no block kicks. Didn't add any more forced fumbles, didn't recover any, and no defensive touchdowns for your Brooklyn Beats. In the kicking department, Brandon Baker had another career day. 1 for 1, 47, 5 for 5 on extra points. Punting, it was Taylor Pauline. 6 punts, 302, netting 282. Wowzers, as 4 went inside the 20, and 1 of them going inside the 30, at the 27, and 1 of them being a touchback. Kick returns, Watts Gallery, what a guy, huh? 4 kick returns, 157 yards, including the 91-yard touchdown. Robert Nichols had 3 that kicked away from him here, being Watts Gallery 3 times, and Robert Nichols, with those opportunities, took it 73 yards, longest of 30. Punt returns, Robert Nichols had 2 for 35, longest of 23, and then Aaron Nelson took 1 for 5 yards. So that is how the last game we're going to bring you wraps up. We're going to sim the rest of the season and see what happens. And here we go. Actually, before we do that, let's check out the injury to Josh Gable. Dislocated elbow. He'll be out for 6 weeks. Oh my goodness. All right. So we're going to go back over here. We're going to sim to the playoffs. It just doesn't have the same feel as the Minnesota Vikings anymore. Since we accidentally, or maybe on purpose, moved the team to Brooklyn by pushing a button in a menu that we thought we could reverse, we just haven't had the same feel. And you've seen that in the upload times. And we're just going to sim the rest of this season, call it good, and prepare for Madden 18. And then Week 17 is underway. And your Brooklyn Beats.
You've made it all the way to the wild card round. Remember, the playoffs are single elimination.
Okay, so after going 5-1 to start the season, we go 4-6 to finish it. Wow. Actually 3-4 because we beat the Patriots. So I wonder if starters got injured. But anyway, we're in the playoffs. Russell Wilson has won the MVP. And playoffs are underway here, wild card weekend. We're going to take a look at the injury report. Okay, so Luke Slazewski is out for 4 weeks, and Aaron Nelson is out for 1 more week. So we did get Jawan Winters back. Other than that, I don't see too much stuff. So the Packers bounced back after the week before. They were at 1-5, so they go 7-3 to finish this season. And the Bears only win 2 games since the Patriots game that we just played. So the playoff schedule, we're going to go to the regular season schedule for the team. So the preseason, obviously. And then here we go. So since the Patriots, we lost 21-0 against the Panthers. Now I'm curious to see if Kenny Erickson got injured in this game. Yes. Smeagol had a 39.5 QB rating. But attempted only 2 passes, so that might be able to tell us something. Anyway, then we go to the Jets. We win 17-14. Let's see if he... No. Again, at 39.5. Going 0 for 1. That's weird. Anyway, we're just going to rifle through these quick. And then our bye week. We lost to the Packers 45-16. Lost to the 49ers 20-14. Beat the Rams. Lost to the Packers again, so we get swept by the Packers. Lost to the Bills. Beat the Bears, and that's funny. Lost to the Cardinals the week before Wild Card Weekend. So in the postseason, we have the Cardinals here. So we go to the playoff schedule. So it'll be the Jaguars and Dolphins, Eagles and Cowboys, Raiders and Steelers, and Cardinals and Beats. We get the primetime spot. So we're going to go ahead and sim to the divisional round. See if we survive here. And we do not. So the practice squad players have been added. We have some staff to re-sign. Aaron Nelson is available to play again. And that is how your 2018 season goes for the Brooklyn Beats. So now we're going to take a look at some stats here. Kenny Erickson in the 2018 campaign, 3,937 yards rather, 23 for 501, 293 for 501, 58% completion percentage, 26 touchdowns, 18 interceptions. Longest pass of 94, sacked 35 times. Make 3 for 4, touchdown interception ratio, 26 for 52. And then Blair Whiting had some chances to play. 7 for 7, 1 touchdown. Justin Vanderschaaf, the last half of the season, stacked 500 yards off 255 carries, so he has another monster year. 7 touchdowns, led the team in carries and rush yards. Sam Gable, 86 carries, 333 yards, and 5 touchdowns. Daniel Hendricks, 47 carries, 192. The Super Bowl MVP coming in third out of the 5 running backs. Oh, my goodness. 1 touchdown for Danny Hendricks in the 2018 campaign. Kenny Erickson, 32 carries, 166 yards. Travis Parker, 35 for 152 and 2 touchdowns. Matthew Peterson, 17 for 57 and 1 touchdown out of the fullback spot. And then Smeagol, 3 for 7 out of the quarterback spot. Receiving, it was Darian Wilson who led the charge. 71 catches, 1,052 yards, 4 touchdowns. Luke Slazewski, 49 receptions, 1,000 yards even, and 9 touchdowns on the season. So, wowzers. Josh Gable, 40 catches, 417 yards, and a touchdown. Blake Letelier, 38 catches, 476 yards, 4 touchdowns. Luis Gonzalez, 35 catches, 310 yards, only 1 touchdown on the season, coming in the Patriots game that you just witnessed. Justin Vanderschaaf, 20 catches, 256 yards, 1 touchdown. Anthony Bisbee, 17 catches, 298 yards, 4 touchdowns. Travis Lee, 12 for 87, 1 touchdown. Jesse Peterson only got 1 touchdown in this campaign, 11 catches, 179 yards, and 1 touchdown in the game you just witnessed. Oh my goodness. Lou Wang, 11 for 130 and a touchdown. Sam Gable, 9 for 103, 3 touchdowns. And Cameron Quick, 6 for 52. Matthew Peterson, 5 for 71. And Daniel Hendricks, 2 for 18. No touchdowns for the last 3 mentioned. Nobody cares about blocking, so we're going to go to defense and look at total tackles. And this year, it's Thomas Cross leading the charge with 104 tackles. Zachary Anderson had 80, Xavier Rhodes had 78, Kevin Stark and Robert Nichols had 70. Tevin Fair was 69, Juwan Winters the rookie. Actually, he's in his 2nd season now, but he was the rookie we picked up. 65 tackles. Chi Mucko with 57. Hey, look, Danny Pickering with 57. Otis McMillan with 56. Arnsdorf with 54. Rosa with 52, Jacob Pickering with 51, Aaron Nelson with 48, Paul Fritchie 44, Drew Ward 41, Sean Clausen 39, Josh Fitzer 24, Scott Rethwell 23, Josiah Russell 16, Richard Salty 16, and Leo Neal with 16, Terrell Oliver with 14, Justin Lewis with 13, Jeremy Lindsay with 8, Dan Nolte with 7, Ryan Beeler with 6, and then Rashid Spinks spent the year on the practice squad. See if he'll be called up next year as we go back to Minnesota. So tackles for loss. Thomas Cross led the charge in that department as well with 9. Tevin Fair at 8. Kevin Stark, Sean Clausen with 7. Jacob Pickering and Otis McMillan with 6. Josiah Russell, Thaddeus Rosa with 5. Leo Neal, Juwan Winters with 4. Nolte, Fitzer, Ward, Nelson, Nichols, Rhodes, Anderson with 3. Bilo, Lewis, Rethwell, Arnsdorf, Mucko with 2. Lindsay, Oliver, Salty, and Pickering. Danny Pickering with 1. Your sack leader, Tevin Fair, ended the season with 13.5 sacks. Oh my goodness. 9 for Kevin Stark, 4 for Otis McMillan, 3.5 split. Sean Clausen, Drew Ward. Thomas Cross with 2, Josiah Russell with 2, Justin Lewis with 1.5. And then your oneers are Jacob Pickering, Richard Salty, Terrell Oliver, Jeremy Lindsay, Chi Mukwa, Scott Rethwell, Dan Nolte, Josh Fitzer. And then your half sacks are Leo Neal, Juwan Winters. Interceptions, your leader was Thomas Cross with 3, Robert Nichols, Thaddeus Rosu with 3, so he didn't add any after the Patriots game, as he had one before, Thaddeus Rosu. Danny Pickering, Zachary Anderson, Xavier Rhodes with 2. Paul Fritchie, Jacob Pickering, Scott Rethwell, Chi Mukwa each had 1. Forced fumbles. We're just going to take a look at the leaders. Danny Pickering, Scott Rethwell, Tevin Fair, Richard Salty, Matthew Arnsdorf. Might as well go through with it. Aaron Nelson, Jacob Pickering, Terrell Oliver, Justin Lewis, Drew Ward, and Sean Clausen each with 1. Block kicks, we had 2 by Matthew Arnsdorf, Robert Nichols. Safety, we had 3, Scott Rethwell, Leo Neal, and Thaddeus Rosu. Defensive touchdowns for your Minnesota Vikings, Danny Pickering, Jacob Pickering, and Justin Lewis. And the most downs played on defense, apparently, Robert Nichols with 1,074 kicking. Excuse me, Brandon Baker, 20 for 25. That's 80%, longest of 53. 1 field goal blocked. He was 52 for 54 extra points. And here's numbers. Inside 29, he was 3 for 3. Inside 39, he was 4 for 4. 49, 9 for 10. And then 50 or more, he was 4 for 8. So missing on the long ones. 88 kickoffs, 46 touchbacks. Punting, Taylor Pauline had 73 punts for 3,384 yards, netting 3,084. 18 punts inside the 20 of those 73. 5 went for touchbacks, and the longest punt of 68. Kick return, Watts Gallery. 31 returns, 1,071 yards, 4 touchdowns, longest of 105. Wowzer. So Robert Nichols, 24 kick returns, 593 yards, longest of 36. Luke Slazewski, 2 for 48. Zachary Anderson, 9 for 202. Sean Clausen, 2 for 31. And Josh Fitzer took 1 for 3. I'm assuming that's on a Sean Klassen and Josh Fitzer. I'm assuming those are on onside kicks. So Watt's gallery will be missed here in Brooklyn Beats as we start fresh next season for Madden 18. His speed, I do believe, is 98 with a 96 acceleration. Punt returns, Lou Wang took 21 for 154. Robert Nichols took 9 for 138, so he must have been removed from his spot there. Luke Slazewski, 3 for 49. Zachary Anderson, 1 for 13, and Aaron Nelson, 1 for 5. So that is how your 2018 Brooklyn Beats went. Going to take a look at the yearly awards now, see if we won any. Of course, NFL MVP was Russell Wilson. Coach of the Year, Dan Quinn. Oh, is that it? Okay. Okay, here we go. NFC Offensive Player of the Year, Russell Wilson. Defensive Player of the Year, Michael Bennett. We didn't even rank, I don't think, in either category, despite having pretty good guys, I believe. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Roy Wilhite. Hopefully I said that right. We did not have anybody. Let's see. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Zachary Cutler. And Juwan Winters made the list, coming in at 8. Wow, he came in at a 78. He ended the year at an 81 with a 9-7 record. Best QB, Russell Wilson. Best running back, Ezekiel Elliott. Best wide receiver, Alshon Jeffrey. We're going to take a look at the running back. And Justin Vandershoff came in at 8, QB. Kenny Erickson came in at 7, beating E.J. Manuel, Cam Newton, and Sam Bradford. Best wide receiver, Alshon Jeffrey. Luke Slazewski came in 5th, despite having more catches. Darian Wilson was not listed. Best offensive lineman, Tyron Smith, of course, the Cowboys. And Try Turner came in 4th place. Best defensive lineman, DeForest Buckner. And we did not have anybody. Oh, Tevin Fair came in 10th. Oh, my goodness. Best linebacker, Aaron Lynch from the 49ers. And Thomas Cross came in 9th. So we have ranking members. Best defensive back, oh, my goodness. Ben Wickere. It's Cray Cray. Came in first. The defensive back, I don't think we had anybody listed. No, indeed, we didn't. Best kicker, Dan Bailey. Brandon Baker came in 2nd. You have to believe it's just because of the record. And there you have it. So we were 7th in the NFL with offense. Not dead last. We were 31st out of 32 with defense. 4th in points scored. 31st in points allowed, 469. 7th in offensive yards. Ron Barr, our fearless owner, climbed to number 21 on the all-time owners list during his time. Really quickly, I just want to go see if we can go into career stats. Here we go. So for your Madden 17 cycle, we're just going to whip through these quick. In 3 seasons, Kenny Erickson, 9,893 yards. Just short of 10,000 yards. That is incredible. 748 for 1183. That is 63% completion in your Madden 17 cycle. 66 passes. Oh my goodness, 66 touchdowns to 47 interceptions. So that's a pretty good ratio for 3 seasons. For Smeagol, 5,305 yards. He played in 30 games. Kenny Erickson played in 37. So Kenny Erickson injured a lot, of course. He was 372 for 583, 63%. 41 touchdowns, 35. But the best one, Blair Whiting. Through 2 seasons, 7 for 7. He's 6'6", 231 from Oregon. 7 for 7, 1 touchdown, no picks. Rushing, Justin Vanderschaft, 2,599 yards in 2 seasons. The first season he played cornerback for us, and then made the switch the year we won the Super Bowl. So 2,599 yards, 27 touchdowns, 495 carries. Sam Gable, 447, 2,259 yards off 27 touchdowns. Daniel Henrik, Super Bowl MVP from 1 year ago, 262 yards, 1598, and 15 touchdowns in his career here in the Madden 17 cycle. Travis Parker, 151 carries, 713 yards, 9 touchdowns. Kenny Erickson had 494 yards and 4 rushing touchdowns. Smeagol, 222, a touchdown. And Matthew Peterson, 196, 4 touchdowns. And Darian Wilson took one for 5 yards. Receiving, Luke Slazewski, 152 catches, 2,842 yards, and 26 touchdowns in 3 seasons of work. Darian Wilson, 128 catches, 1,968 yards, 11 touchdowns. Luis Gonzalez, 3rd place. Oh my goodness. 125 yards, or 125 catches, 1,354 yards, 8 touchdowns in 3 seasons. Josh Gable, 124 catches, 1,406, 10 touchdowns. Blake Letelier, 116, 1,500 yards, and 8 touchdowns. Jesse Peterson, 90 catches, 1,441 yards, 8 touchdowns. He was injured a lot during this series. I do believe he had stints on the injured list in every single season he played. Anthony Bisbee, 69 catches, 1,041 yards, 6 touchdowns, and then you can take a look from here as we have to rifle through these. And there you have it. Nobody cares about blocking, so we're going to go to defense, look at total tackles. Xavier Rhodes, he really has 6 years, but he was with us for 2 as we traded for him because of 2 cornerbacks being injured. We traded for him and Xavier Howard, who we later traded for an offensive lineman. Toby Portillo we drafted, of course, who has been since retired, I do believe. Anyway, Aaron Nelson led the charge with 259 career tackles. Zachary Anderson with 240, Daniel Pickering with 219, Robert Nichols with 216, Thaddeus Rozu with 208, Chimuckle with 186. So the back position's really doing good. Cornerback, Matthew Arnsdorf, 185, Jacob Pickering, 183, Thomas Cross, 172, Tevin Fair, 164, Josh Fitzer, 136. Hey, look, Kevin Stark also 136, Otis McMillan, 128, Paul Fritchie, 127, and then beneath that, here you have all of your under 100. So, Juwan Winters, in 1 season, well, 2 seasons, but 65. And then we're going to go to tackles for loss. I do believe, Tevin Fair with 34, Kevin Stark with 33, interceptions career here, and 10 for Thaddeus Rozu in 3 seasons. That's not bad. Xavier Rhodes had 9, of course, in 6. Zachary Anderson, 2nd place with 9. Robert Nichols with 7. Danny Pickering with 4. Chimuck with 4. Arnsdorf with 4. Cross and Nelson with 3. And then below that, here you go. Otis McMillan had an interception. Let's see. Forced fumbles. 10 for Danny Pickering. 6 for Tevin Fair. 4 for Josh Fitzer and Scott Rethwell. 3 for Rozu, Cross, Pickering, Jacob Pickering, of course, Stark, Salthy, Ward, Clausen, Arnsdorf, Nichols, and Rhodes had 2. Lee O'Neill, Josiah Russell, Oliver Lewis, McMillan, Nelson, and Mukwa had 1. Safeties. This should be interesting to see. Danny Pickering, Tevin Fair, Scott Rethwell, Thaddeus Rozu, and Lee O'Neill had 1. And defensive touchdowns. Danny Pickering, Scott Rethwell, Josh Fitzer, Jacob Pickering, Matthew Arnsdorf, and Justin Lewis each had 1 in 3 seasons. So that is how we tip off Madden 17. It just wasn't the same since we accidentally or on purpose moved to Brooklyn, of course. So we're going to advance to the conference championship. Actually, you know what? We're going to sim to the Super Bowl and see who wins this thing. Just because we're curious here. So in the Super Bowl, it's the Steelers and the Seahawks. We're going to see who wins. Of course, the Offensive Player of the Year was Russell Wilson. We're going to skip ahead. And the winner of the last... Oh, Seattle squeaks it out by 1 point. And wins the Super Bowl here in the 2018 season. Oh my goodness. So in 3 seasons, we make the playoffs. In 2, go to the Super Bowl and win it in 1. And we had 1 season of very poor play where we ended up in 2nd place. Or 3rd place, 2nd from the bottom. That allowed us to get Juwan Winters and other draft picks, such as Toby Portilla. I think Tyree Spikes was drafted in this series. Of course, you cannot forget about Watts Gallery. Hitting on him was very good. I know there were some safeties. Rashard Huntington, unfortunately, didn't play outside of preseason. We signed Justin Lewis late. Quadarius Gilmore, who I was big on, unfortunately didn't play out of preseason. Frank Sally. Lee O'Neill was signed late. And as far as specialist goes, we didn't really sign anybody there. So that is how this cycle will end. Just stay tuned for more uploads as we inch closer to Madden 18 releasing. This has been Randy Replay. Until then, I'll see you later.